Alright guys, Happy New Year. It's Travis with RC Garage. Back at you with another video. Today, I'm working on something. I really don't know what to call it, but I'll show it to you. And essentially, it's just an angle iron, sheet metal angle iron. I just bent these up. That goes, it's kind of the framework for the whole body. It follows the frame, so the floor can attach to it, and also the quarter panel's attached to this. So the quarter panel's attached to the side, floor attaches to the top. So it's kind of an important piece, and it's totally rotted away on the 37. So since my brake doesn't really work that great, I'm just going to do kind of small sections like this, kind of get the curve it needs. Then I'll work on another piece, cut them, weld them together so it's a larger piece, and then kind of so on and so forth until I get the whole thing from... I'm starting kind of right where I left off with the floors, all the way to the back door. So what's left of it, I will take out and use as templates. But most of it, I kind of just go with the flow and do what I think I need to do. So let me show you what I'm talking about so it makes a little more sense. This angle iron piece kind of sits on here and flows down, so it's here, up here, kind of. It's this piece here. See how there's like there's nothing to it. It just fell off. So let's grab it. Right now there is a piece of the wheel well attached to it, but as you can see, it's got some curve to it. It's got some shape. It bows in, curves up, curves down. So it starts here, moves along pretty straight, and then it starts going up, and it starts going in, up some more, around this, and meets up with this piece here. So that's kind of how far I need to take it. Oh man, this stuff is prime. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of work to do here. So you can see here, bolts in down there, goes across. There's a square hole where a carriage bolt would go into this bracket here. Comes over, curves back, and pretty much goes straight. So it's a bit, it's an easy piece to make. It's just kind of, this is kind of deep, so I'm not sure if my my shrinker can get in there. I know I can stretch what I need to stretch, like this here. I'd be able to stretch that to make that curve in my planishing hammer with my linear stretch dies, but shrinking, we'll see. We'll see how my little shrinker does. So let's start by making the straight piece, and I think it's gonna kick up a little bit here. Okay, so for this side, we're gonna go off of that one to see when we need to start stretching. So this will curve up about 16 inches. Alright, so I got this piece curved up here, and as you can tell, it gives a much better surface finish than you would if you used the Lancaster style shrinkers. Hey, you can see me with the camera. What's up? So, it's almost polished in the back. So, if you can, linear stretch, if you got the equipment to do it. So, I'll show you how this fits in. It's kind of under my angle iron there. Put on top of the floor. And, yep, it's going to sit pretty much just like that. Come straight down here, then it curves up. To meet, I gotta drill a hole and square it out to match up with that hole. See, this comes and sweeps up, and this is about, I'd say, like right there. And then I need to recreate that piece, this piece now. So I'm gonna make this piece, hopefully fully from this edge to that edge. Shrinking in there. Oh man, this piece is complex. It's shrunk here, stretched here, right? No, it's shrunk here. It's shrunk along this edge. It's shrunk here, and it's stretched here to straighten back out. So that kind of stinks. I wish I had. Well, you know, gotta do what I gotta do. I'll see if I can see how far I can get in with my manual shrinker, and if it can't make the bend, you'll have to figure something out. Alright, so since my shrinker is just a hand operated one and these guns are pretty small, I need to get crafty, because trying to shrink a flange that's almost 2 inches is very difficult. So I've got this strap here, and I'm just going to stand on this box and push down on here with my foot. You know, until I can afford to get the Bailey deep throat shrinker, I'm gonna do it this way, because I was just hanging on this thing and I'm really not even moving it, hanging on it. So I need to get it done faster. So I'm doing this. We'll see if it works. Okay, so surprisingly, it worked pretty well. I still can't get up into here with my shrinks, but this is kind of doing the trick over here. I might have to hit it with the planishing hammer to kind of flatten it out, because I know, like on this side, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of the area where it's not shrinking, it's kind of bulging up. It's really not a problem for what it is, but I'd kind of like to get it flat. This one seems to be flatter than this curve, so let me just see. Oh wow, look at that. Maybe shrink a little bit here on this end, and pretty much got the curve first shot. These pieces are like that. I marked out where the square hole is going to be, so I just need to make some measurements off the end, drill a hole, square it out, or I might just drill a hole for now so I can just locate it in that square on the corresponding hole on the frame, and then I can start figuring out where I need to start swinging this piece the other way. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the planishing hammer and do some linear stretching from around here to here to try and kick this back this way. So let's set up the dies and get stretching. Put this in, put this piece in. And we're looking pretty good. So I overlapped the holes, stuck the bolt in, so now these two are overlapped. I gotta figure out where is the tricky part. Where I want to cut these so it'll make a perfect seam. So so I think I'm gonna clamp it together somehow and just cut like straight down both of them with the bandsaw, and I guess just see what happens. All right, so I got this piece clamped. I'm just gonna pretty much cut it right here through the bandsaw and weld them together and see what we get. We always got the planishing hammer and the shrinker stretchers if we need to stretch, shrink, kind of move stuff where it needs to be. So I'm pretty confident it'll work out. Alright, so now, pretty sure this was here. Yeah, so this comes out, this comes out. Maybe you gotta unbend this one or bend this one, because a little bit out of whack, but you know, we can always fix that. Then that should be exactly what I want. Alright, so let me clean these up and we'll take them over to that little TIG weld table I got over there, and we'll weld this together. Alright, so we got most of the left passenger side. I guess you would call this a subrail. Passenger side subrail fleshed out, bent up, welded together. The end of this just pretty much needs a 6-inch straight piece, so I'll do that off camera. It's pretty easy, but this was a pretty complicated piece. It looks pretty simple, but we used a lot of tools. We used the shear, we used the brake, we did some linear stretching on the planishing hammer. We also did some hand shrinking or makeshift foot shrinking on my Lancaster style shrinking machine, shrinker, whatever you want to call it. We used a welder. You know, a lot of stuff in this little piece, but if you look down it, it's pretty complicated. Comes in, comes up, and over, and back in. A lot of curves. A lot of compound curves on one piece. But it came out pretty good. Just gotta duplicate this and put the little extensions on. And this is good to go. I'll have to weld it here to the existing subrail, and weld it or bolt it. I'm not sure how it goes on back there. I'll have to check. Back here, this bolt hole is drilled. I don't know, I might just leave it a hole, or I might square it out for the carriage bolt that belongs there. I'll probably end up doing that. But this is a nice start to the sub rails. So figured I'd bring you along. I know this was a short video this week with Christmas, New Year's all happening. It was hard for me to get in the shop and get stuff done. So I figured I'd do this little compound angle sub rail piece for you guys. I feel like it's kind of interesting. So let me show you how it fits, and I'll end the video. It starts back there in the corner, comes up, hits that mount, comes out, curves back into the frame, and it's just going to be a straight shot to this piece here. I did some more work on the floor. I know you guys are probably sick of seeing the floor, so I did that stuff, and I didn't record anything. I think I made a reel or something on Instagram, but I didn't really record it. But I got the transition here. Let's see if I can get the light any better. I welded the tunnel to the trans doghouse thing, so now it's a Stingray. Long tail. So everything's tech screwed in right now. Obviously solid as a rock. These pieces got welded in. Actually, you don't even know what happened. So the skinny of it, I took some triangle pieces, put them up against the sides, marked out where they laid on the tunnel, cut it out, welded the pieces in, put a little bend on it so it would have this, I don't know if you can see, the line, the bend, follow onto the trans tunnel. Then this didn't quite line up to the bottom of this doghouse, so I took my linear stretch dies on the polishing hammer and kind of stretched the edge of this so it came up and met up. And you can see now how everything lines up nice. It comes here and it comes up to meet up with it, just like that. So everything's nice and flat. I didn't get rid of this weld because it was mostly just a fusion weld. There's not really any filler in here. Besides in this corner here, I had to add some and notch it out to go over this this bead. And same on the other side. I might need to make that notch a little bigger. But, you know, that's all nice. And I did end up shortening the rod for the shifter. A bunch of people told me to do that. I think my father-in-law told me to do that. A bunch of you subscribers who commented on the video told me to do that. So I took your advice, and it worked out great. The direction said to put that arm at a certain angle, so I wanted to keep it at that certain angle, but I tested it out by clocking this arm down a bit, so when it's in park, it's not so far up, and everything still functions the way it should. So I'm happy and nothing touches. I didn't need to make a blister because after I thought about it, the blister would look kind of cool, but then it'd kind of get in the way of his heel or just the comfortability with driving the car. I just wanted everything, you know, more comfort than fancy stuff that I can make. Yeah, cool, I can make a blister on the side of this thing, but at the end of the day, is it going to be comfy to drive in? Probably not. So I decided not to do that. So it's really getting pretty complete here. So the floor is back, pretty much welded. I think I just got to get a riv nut tool, and everywhere where there's a tech screw and maybe a couple other places, I'm gonna put a riv nut and get some I don't know, some fancy screws or something. Maybe like the same heads that those tech screw has. Got a nice flat head to just screw it in, so this whole piece will come out if you want to access that. Alright guys, that's it for this one. I made this crazy crazy looking angle piece for the rear subrail. Well, it's going to be the rear subrail. So we will continue working on this next week. Like I said before, it's been the New Year's, Christmas, couldn't really work on things that much. So thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, clicking that bell, sharing the videos. You know the deal. Thanks guys, love you. See you on the next one.